Hey guys, as promised, we're going to do a bit of a sit down with Bob. Now, Bob's been one of our longer serving clients here at Weight Loss for Men Thailand. Now, Bob came in December
2019.
2019. So he's been here almost 7 months now.
Yep.
Now, this video is going to give people a real insight into Bob's journey, not just on the program, but off the program as well. Now, first of all, Bob, I want to know, what have you tried in the past and why did it fail?
Oh man, I've tried everything. I've tried like hardcore extended fasting, like water fasting, you know, prolonged juice fasting, keto, low carb diets. I've tried. I even paid this clinic in Florida one time to where they put together like this jigsaw puzzle type meal plan for you, and you pay them per pound you want to lose. I didn't want to get the bariatric surgery. That was off the table. I never wanted to do that. And then I would try just low carb stuff. I would try intermittent fasting, where I basically would eat whatever I want just within a small window. That didn't work because I was still eating lots of fake food, which I'm sure we'll talk about.
Well, I'm sure they work temporarily.
Temporarily, exactly. Yeah, I would always lose, right away I'd always lose 5, 10, 15 pounds, but it was all water. It was all, you know, but after that it would just, I couldn't get beneath, no matter how hard I tried. At my highest, I was 460.6 pounds, which for those of you that deal in kilos, that's 208.9 kilos. That was my high weight. And no matter how hard I tried or what I tried, I couldn't get below 380 pounds, which is about, would that be 195 kilos, something like that. That was the floor. I just couldn't get below that no matter what.
And what do you weigh now?
As of this morning, I'm 140 kilos. Which is about 308 pounds.
Stand up. Give everyone a bit of a look at yourself.
Yeah.
Okay. Now your shirts are actually loose now.
Yeah. Loose shirt.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I had a, you know, pretty big stomach when I got there.
You're turn around. Give us a side shot. You were basically turn around. You were kind of probably about there when you first came to Weight Loss for Men Thailand.
I was.
Yeah. Sit down, mate.
Yeah. It was pretty bad.
Mate, you're looking good.
I looked like I swallowed a beach ball when I got
here. You've still got a little bit to go.
Oh yeah. I'm not done yet.
No.
But I'm getting there.
All right.
Yep.
Okay, now, what brought you to Weight Loss for Men Thailand?
I was out of options. I just felt like my back was up against the wall. I felt like I tried everything. And I was talking to like my best friend, and he said, man, you got to just do whatever. He said, even if you have to leave the country, just go somewhere. And originally, you know, there's, if you guys have done research, I'm sure you've seen like lots of like fat loss boot camps out there. So I started looking at like weight loss boot camps. And what kind of discouraged me from that is the cheapest one I could find in America was $3,500 per week. So that's like 14 grand a month. And I knew I needed to be somewhere long term. Like I wanted to leave the country for like as long as it took me to save my life. So that was off the table. And then I found Weight Loss for Men Thailand. I went on your website, very simple, straightforward website. Within 3 minutes of being on the site, I knew I wanted to do it. So I booked a call with Steve, Justin's partner. We talked either later that day or the next day. I made my deposit like right away, and I came in December, and the rest was history. Yeah.
I mean, you knew that changing your environment. See, staying in America, you're still kind of in that environment. You're in America.
I know.
There's the fast food around, the lifestyle, the culture's the same. So by coming to Thailand, you knew that you had to get out.
Yes.
Okay.
They call America the land of plenty. I don't call it that. I call it the land of excess. It is. I mean, America is the only country in the world where poor people are obese because it's just our culture, man. So I had to get away from that.
Well, what was your biggest fear before coming out?
My biggest fear was that it would basically turn out like everything else I had tried, that I would do really well in the beginning and then hit a plateau, or it'd be too unsustainable. Like I would lose all the weight, but that it would be so unsustainable that as soon as I stopped, I would gain it all back.
Right.
And that fear was totally unfounded because the way that I lost weight here, I could do every day for the rest of my life.
That's right. And what were you expecting?
Honestly, I didn't know what to expect, but what I was afraid it would be like I said, hardcore boot camp type stuff. You know, because we're in Thailand, there's mountains everywhere, so I was afraid I'd have to be like running up mountains, and I don't know if it was going to be like one of those new age sweat lodge type things. where you drink this smelly bitter tea while you're sweating out in lodges and stuff like I didn't know what to expect, to be honest. But when I watched the videos, you know, on your website, and I saw some of the interviews you were doing with some of the guys, one of the things that really jumped out to me is that one of the guys said that you feel like you're on a holiday. I was like, wow, really? Because that was kind of what I needed. Things were stressful with work, and so that's the beauty, is you feel like you're on a holiday, but you also feel like you're on a retreat at the same time.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so you came initially for 60 days, 2 months.
Yep.
And you extended.
I originally booked from December to February, but then I realized I had already dropped, I think, like 20 or 30 or 40 kilos. I have to go back. I dropped a lot by February, like a lot in 60 days. But I didn't quite feel like I was fully established yet, because I didn't feel like enough time had passed for the new habits that I learned here to set in, but also for those old habits that I brought here with me to die off.
Right.
So I extended another 30 days to March, to the end of March, and that was when my program officially ended. And then COVID-19 hit, all my return flights were canceled, and I've been here, it's, July 4th. So I've been here 3 months over.
But you did have the option to go back at one stage, didn't you? But I think you chose not to in the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Good
did.
decision.
Yeah.
If we can just backtrack, and I want to know, what was your experience on the program within the 3 months that you spent on the program?
I'd say my the biggest thing I got out of this program was the difference between real primal living and fake artificial modern living. Okay, and here's the difference between the two. I'll start with the fake, because that was all I knew. Fake living is you pull your phone out and you have a large pizza delivered to you. That's fake living. Okay, you're sedentary, indoors all the time. You know, most of us guys that are doing decently well in life, we don't like to cook, right? We like to eat out everywhere. That's another thing that was another bad habit, is that just eating really bad food that you have no control over. So when I came here, I learned how to live. It's almost like progress here is like moving backwards. And what I mean by that is, to make progress in the program, you got to return to the old primal living that our bodies are designed to live, which is eating real food that actually it will eventually taste better than the fake food, because it'll totally like change your palate. It'll purify your taste buds and kind of reboot them to where they should be. But it gets you full to the point where like you can eat good portions, and because it's not as calorie dense as all the fake foods, you can eat a lot of it and push your plate away and be done. Like, I'm done. Like, I'm comfortably full. Also, I fell in love with walking. That was another big fear I had, is, man, I'm this big guy. If I'm 461 pounds, I can't be sprinting. I can't be doing all this high intensity stuff. I don't want to break an ankle, and then I can't do anything, right? So I learned the beauty of walking, because walking is perfect, because it'll melt fat off you, but at the same time, it's not going to make your appetite go crazy out of control, because it's not high intensity exercise. So it's like the perfect balance.
Yeah. I mean, this is something we had to focus on, particularly with you in your case, because you lived a very sedentary lifestyle.
Extremely.
Let's get it. You were lazy. You're a lazy guy.
I was.
You just sit in your room and you just, especially in the first month on the program, you didn't really want to partake in anything too physical come out. You'd rather just, take a back seat.
Yep.
But look, this was something we had to work on over a period of time, until we got to the point where you now realise that walking's great.
It is.
It's good for you. If you don't walk, you die. It's as simple as that.
Use it or lose it. Like, we're given one
We need
body,
to walk.
and we got to use it.
Exactly.
That was one of the things I had to unlearn, is that sedentary mindset.
Now you're walking. Okay, let's skip ahead now. You finished the program. You did 3 months on the program. You're stuck in Thailand. COVID-19 things going on. What was your experience?
The beauty is that everything I learned while I was in the program, I proved to myself. Oh, okay. Kind of going back. One of my other biggest fears is, okay, what if I do really well on the program, but when I come back to America, I lose all that progress? Okay. That was another big fear I had. Like, okay, the program's over. Can I really further my gains. And here, guys, you'll learn that when you lose, that's considered a gain. You're getting ahead, right? So I'm like, could I solidify my gains without the supervision? And I use that word loosely. It's not like Steve and Justin are like, they will hold you accountable, but at the end of the day, they let you be a man. Like, we're all men. We're not like children being monitored here. So I'm thinking, okay, outside of Justin and Steve's supervision, can I still do everything I learned here? Now, one good thing I'll say is that Steve and Justin, they'll be lifelong friends. They would still check in on me. They'd still say, how you doing? They're not like, hey, thanks for the money, pal. Good luck. No, they stayed in touch, which I really appreciated. But I needed that solitude to be able to be a man and stand on my own 2 feet and implement everything I learned on the program. And I got to say, in the last 3 months, I've dropped another 15 to 20 kilos on my own, just continuing everything I learned.
Fantastic.
Yep. So, this sounds weird, but COVID-19 was a blessing in disguise for me. That's not to downplay anybody that it's harmed, but it gave me that extra time to really solidify everything I learned here, to the point where now, when I go back to America, that will now be kind of like a foreign environment to me, like an unfamiliar environment, but in a good way, because it's going to be so different from what I now practice. Like, I can see, like, I'm to the point now where I can walk past fake food and I could smell the fakeness. I could smell the flour. I can smell the sugar. I can just smell it now, and I have no desire for it now. It's like I'm changed on the inside. Yeah.
Look, that doesn't happen overnight with a two week.
It takes time.
Not even a month.
It's rehab. You got to go through a little bit of rehab.
You've got to live the process. You go through the process of losing the weight, but then you've got to go through the process of understanding, maintaining, and continuing to practice the new lifestyle. You need to live a new lifestyle, essentially.
And let's be honest too, okay? You have to want to do it for you. Because there is a little bit of, and like I said, you'll find that Justin and Steve, they're not going to like make you do anything, okay? They'll make some suggestions, but at the end of the day, they give you the freedom to be a man and decide what you want to do for yourself. So when you're in the program, there is a little bit of a healthy pressure, healthy expectation to, to do the right thing, to do with what you're taught. But then there's going to come a point, guys, where when the program's over, you got to do it because you want to do it for yourself. You got to do it because you want to live as long as you can live. You want to feel as best you can feel, look as best you can look. Because you're not always going to have Steve and Justin around to make suggestions, right? So there's going to come a point where you got to decide that this is what you want. Do I want to? And I'll never forget a conversation we had. You could go on your merry way. You could eat whatever you want, be sedentary, be fat and lazy. But one day, a day is going to come one day. So do you want that day to come when you're 80 or 90 and you've lived a full, healthy life? Or do you want that day to come when you're 50? Like, that's just something you have to decide.
Oh, we'll call a spade. We won't piss in your pocket here.
Yeah.
If you're lying to yourself, I'm going to call you out.
Absolutely.
And it has to be that way.
Yep.
Look, if you came over here with a dream and that's all it was, look, go home, continue to eat, be merry, be kind to your family,
Absolutely.
Have a good life, and just accept it.
Just know that day is going to come, though.
But if that's not what you want, well,
Yeah.
Here's the place that we're going to teach you.
You're not paying these guys to tell you what you want to hear. Because you've been telling yourself what you want to hear your whole life, and that's why you're thinking about leaving your country and coming to Thailand. So why not try something different? Why not experience a little bit of tough love, which, we're obviously not capable of getting to ourselves. And but it's only temporary. The struggle is temporary, the benefits are permanent. But if you want to go the other direction, the pleasure will be temporary, but the consequences will be permanent. Because, I don't know when I don't know how far away I was from having a stroke or heart attack, but I was headed there.
Well, look, it's we'll cut the video here, and look, it's fantastic that you've stayed on for this 7 months. So, everyone gets to see what happens post-program, kind of results that the guys are getting. And just before we go, tell me about your future. Has it shifted?
Absolutely. It really has. I feel more focused than I ever have. It's starting. all the determination and the focus and the passion that I have picked up from being my healthiest self, it's starting to pour over into other areas of my life. It's starting to pour into business. It's starting to pour into relationships. One of the blessings of staying here longer, and one of the reasons I wanted to stay here longer, is because at least 3 guys that I was here on the program with, this was their second time here.
Yeah.
And they actually did better the second time they came than the first, because the first time they came, they kind of had to learn for themselves that, okay, if I go back home and do the things that made me have to come here, that's not going to work. So they decided to come back. So that's another option. You know, if you can only be here for 30, 60 days max, it's not the end of the world if you come back. I was blessed to kind of come back while staying here, if that makes sense, because I stayed so much longer.
Yeah.
So yeah, my future is, man, I'm gonna try my hardest to live till I'm 90.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's gonna take much effort now, because it's second nature to eat real food, and it's not a diet. I don't feel like I have to obsess over food anymore. I love walking now. I'm actually addicted to walking now.
Right.
And so I feel like my best years are ahead of me, to be honest. I'll be 40 in November this year, and my best years are ahead of me, man. Thanks to you and Steve.
Nice one.